Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis, and in this video we're going to install Sparky Linux. It's powered by Debian. Let's go back to Distro Watch here. If you'll scroll down where they show their recent releases, you can see Sparky Linux was just released on January the 14th. Click on that. It'll open up Distro Watch's page on them, and it's a Linux distribution based on Debian. The country of origin is Poland. And it's available in these different desktops: Fuzzy, Enlightenment, JWM, KDE Plasma, LXDE, LXQT, the Mate, OpenBox, and Xfce. Rank 24. Let's go to their homepage here. This is their homepage. A little bit of reading here. You got different categories. If you click on About, it'll open up this page, which you can do some more reading about. The download, if you click on that link, it'll open this up, and here you can get your stable releases, which is where I got mine, or the semi-rolling releases. That'll get you right here. This is where I discovered, somehow I'd overlooked this, a game over ISO, and it's also got a multimedia ISO. And I didn't install those yet, but I did download them. I'm going to check those out. So that's their rolling. If you click on the wiki, it opens up this. If you click on the team, it'll open up this. And Pavroo, or Paweł Pijanowski, is the founder, developer, repo holder of Sparky Tools creator and the ISO builder. Here it lists their teams, pretty interesting names there. And this is their SourceForge page, and you can browse their files here. You can see there's Xfce, LXQT, the base, CLI, base, that's with the GUI. The CLI is just what it says, nothing but a command line interface. Here's those two ISOs I was just talking about: Mate, KDE, LXD. This is old. This is 2022 here. So let me minimize this. And what I did is, well, let me bring up my VirtualBox first. What I've done is I've installed Sparky Linux, Xfce, LXQT, the Plasma Desktop, and the Advanced installer. I'm going to show you a little slideshow installing with the Calamaris installer, which is available as an icon on the desktop. But in the menu, there is an option that says Advanced Installer, and I got that on video, and we're going to look at that as well. So this is the way I got my VirtualBox set up. All of them have 6 gigabytes of RAM, 2 cores of the processor. I have enabled the EFI, give it 256 on the video memory, and I'm using the VBox SVGA graphics controller. Now that's off of their website. They recommend you use that. They also recommend that you enable the 3D. I didn't do that, but I did after the fact. Or on one of them I did, just to see how it works. So here's how I have my VirtualBox set up. This will be the first screen you'll be presented with when you boot up the ISO. Is select English, English no splash, failsafe mode, Torum, text mode, and more languages. This will be their desktop that you'll boot into. This App Center here, I mean, it might be helpful, and it probably is, but there's no way, or at least I haven't found the way, to stop that screen from showing when you first log in. Anyway, that's what you'll be presented with. Here's the installer. I moved it over to the middle to make it easier to see. Double click on that, and this will be the first screen you're presented with. Now remember, this is the Calamaris installer, and the steps will be almost identical with every Calamaris installer. There are some additions, but they're, but not on the standard Calamaris. Okay, so we got that. We're going to select our area, System American English. That's what I select. Now you click right here and you can change those. Right here, I selected my keyboard, American US default. Here I'm going to do manual partitioning. You'll have the option to select either one of those, but I always do the manual. First thing we'll need is a new partition table, and here that is. I created a GPT. Here's the layout. We got a FAT32, 512 megabytes. I gave it a 9 gigabyte swap, and I got a root partition and a home partition. All right, click next. Here's a summary of what all it's going to do. For some reason, it wants to show you that. Here we're going to use a name. Now, you notice right here it says log in automatically without asking for a password. It's ticked by default, and I'm not sure why they do that, but that's, to me, that's not an option. By default, it should be off, and if you want to turn it on, then you can. All right, so here's how I untick that. Got my passwords in there. All right, here I took some screenshots of the cards that you'll see, and I don't think I got them all. Went way too fast. It's talking about out of the box. I'll slow this down a little bit so it can be read. Obviously, I'm not going to read it all. Comes with LibreOffice. Standing on the shoulder of giants. It's talking about Debian GNU Linux. It's based on Debian GNU Linux. Debian, as you know, is a very mainstream operating system. It says right here. All right, next card. Has a great community. And now here's the card back. By the way, this says 71% into the installer. And here's the last card you'll see. Close this out. All right. So that's how you would install using the Calamaris installer, in this case, Sparky Linux. Okay, so this is going to be the advanced installer, and it's in the menu. So I'm going to start this. It's under System. We'll see it here, Sparky installer. I assume that first one is the icon, but the next one is the advanced installer. And this will be the first screen. You'll be selecting your language. The advanced installer lets you install the live system to your hard drive as it is. It is highly suggested to quit the installer and check for newer versions. I didn't do that here because I had did it on the first two that I tried it on, and both times it said that it was up to date. The newest version was installed. All right, so it's going to set by keyboard English US by default. I'm going to say OK. Now we're going to be prompted to select our locale, and by default is English US is selected. So if yours is anything other than that, scroll through here, just like you would locale.conf and Archin style, and find your language. Now, this system they got set up right here is very annoying, and I'm not sure if it's a VirtualBox thing or a thing. And right here, you can see this just fine. It's selected English US UTF-8. If it's wrong, you need to change it. You'll see what I'm talking about as far as being able to see. Right now, we can see this with key map layout symbols. Okay. We're going to say don't touch the key map because it's working just like it is. Encoding for the console will accept the UTF-8. And why it didn't default to English here, since I've already selected English US, I'm not sure. This is character set that should be supported by the console font. And I'm going to tell it to guess my optimal character set. Because I would be guessing. Here's another option that's you won't get during the desktop installer. But it's really, I'm not sure just how needed this is. I mean, all these things can be done after the fact. If you prefer a bold version of the Terminus font, choose either Terminus Bold if you use a frame buffer or Terminus Bold VGA. Otherwise, we're just going to use Goha, whatever that is. Tab to OK. Now here you are using your arrow keys up and down and the tab key to bounce around the categories. Here you got a whole bunch of keyboards listed, and yours should be in here. You'll see I'm almost paging down all the way to the bottom, and it's a very extensive list. There would be, I would guess, very few keyboards not listed in here. Since this is a VM though, I'm going to just select a stock right here. We'll go all the way to the top. You can see just how long this list is. Very extensive. And I'm just going to, like I said, going to select the Dell keyboard. It seems to be working. It's actually a Logitech wireless, but like I said, it's working. Keyboard configuration, English US. All right, here it's asking you, do you want to change some of the defaults key bindings? I'll say just leave it like that. Here it's telling you what the keyboard does, and if you're okay, we're going to leave it like that. Also, same here. If you're going to use the Control-Alt backspace to terminate the X server, you could select yes here, but by default it selects no, and that's the way I left it. So now we're going to prepare our partition, and it's going to open up gparted, which you could do that by rights to start with. We're going to need a new partition table, and this is EFI, so we're going to select GPT, say apply. Now we can select new, right click on the menu, the disk, and select new. This is going to be our EFI partition of FAT32. And here we're going to give it, I think I give this, 9 gigs of swap. We allocated as Linux swap. Say okay. We're going to bust this up. Now here you could just choose a number. As long as you got more than 15 gigs on the root drive, you're probably good. This is a virtual box. So here's our layout. I'm going to click on the apply button so we can apply these changes. Okay, so first thing you'll notice right here on FAT32, it says it's MSFT data. We're going to change that to ESP, and both boot and ESP flags will be applied. Swap's already got a flag, and we don't really need them on there. See, there will be none available for root, whereas there used to be, and there are some, still some, but not in this case. So there's no changes to apply. It's asking us where to install the EFI image to. We're going to just install it on SDA1. All right. See what I mean? Here's where it's talking. It's so small you can't hardly see it. And watch, there'll be no way to increase that. So Sparky, I don't know if that's a VirtualBox thing. So here it's saying no formatted. If you have another OS or going to dual boot, you may not want the grub. We're going to install it, format the EFI, because this is the only hard drive. Now asking where to put the swap, and that's on SDA2. Root file system will be on SDA3. And we're going to format that to ext4. However, you see all the options, or you didn't see them all, but you've seen a lot of options. You have the standard options of array of file system, selecting ext4. Okay, so root for the password for the root. Dyslexia strikes again. Now here it will not allow you to give the same password for the root user and the new user. So you'll notice my top one has 5 characters, and you'll see that the password for the new user is 4 characters. If they're the same, it won't allow you to go further. Now you can change those once you get into the installed system. Host name for this computer is just going to be Sparky with no caps. It didn't say that. I'm just going to not take a chance. Here's that option to log in automatically. Notice it's unticked here, which is where it should be. Select where to install grub to. We're going to install it to SDA. Out of these options, that's the best one we have there, and it is highlighted by default, so we'll say OK. Here you can change your grub, and I think that's a little silly because you can change it to 5, 10, or 20. Here we're going to select our time zone, and this is another. If you grab that little drop down or bar, the scroll bar over there, you'll scroll to the bottom in just one little 1/4 inch movement. So take your time and go through here. You will find it. Found mine, but it took a minute. I kept passing it by. Just did again. There it is. All right, say OK. New user Dennis will be created. The file system will be ext4 for both 3 and device 3 and 4. And go. And I will say in advance, this takes a long time. Took about 35 minutes total from the time I started the install, booted into the live session, and I started the install, I believe at 6:35. I write that in here somewhere. And like I said, this takes a while. I'll move my mouse over here out of the way. Not mine. Thought that was my mouse there in the middle of the screen. I was going to move it. Okay. So at this point, you could probably just go outside, drink you a cup of coffee, or grab you a cold beer or wine, whatever your choice of destruction is. Or go get you something to eat. Could be a choice of destruction as well. But I did not want to cut out much of this because I wanted you to see the entire install, and you will. This is the advanced installer. It's in the menu, but it's not on the desktop. You install the Sparky installer from the icon up upper right of the screen here. You'll be using the Calamaris like I demonstrated during the first part of this video. I'm getting bored. I want to do something. And I'm wondering if it's my internet connection that's slowing this down. And as you'll see here, the answer will be a resounding no. So my download speed is 30.5 megabytes, which is not blazing, not like a gigabyte or anything, but for a wireless connection, that's pretty nice. Which is all my computers are set up wirelessly. Okay, so I sped this up 1500%, and you'll see it still takes a minute. I like the bars right there flashing across there better anyway, like that. So at this point, I probably did walk outside, petted the cats or something. Now I'm looking at the clock. Change that to change the view. Now I check the sound. This started at 5:35 at 6 p.m. already. So 25 minutes into the install. Now that's when I clicked on the advanced installer to get it started. Now we're going to install Grub Xfce4 EFI platform. Going to speed this up a little bit as well. This seemed to take a little while. Here we go. All right. We're going to just go ahead and reboot. The reason is it'll take the ISO out of the way. Normally, now I passed all this stuff and went ahead and signed in. This is what you'll be greeted with. This is how your screen will look, your desktop. Let's make that bigger. See here, we got our partitions, SDA 1, 2, 3, and 4, mounted at root and home. Uname reveals 510.0-9. Uname PORV says Debian 510. You notice it said unknown right there. That's because we're in a virtual box. It says we're using 471 megabytes on a completely fresh install first boot. That's not bad. All right, so now let's go here. Get ready to close this portion out. Go. And let's bring up my virtual box. And this is Xfce that I've already installed. I've showed you how I got it set up. I did enable that 3D acceleration. Let's start this up. This will be your first screen. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter since I couldn't wait that extra 3 more seconds. And this is the Xfce Desktop. And we're going to quickly look at the menu here. Let's see my username. You see I done a little customizing. Gonna log in. It's over here. There we go. All right. And that's what my Xfce Desktop looks like. And like I said, you can see I've already done a little customizing. I got my session menu where I want it and how I want it. I got my clock almost right. See it. Sound works out of the box. I got my taskbar set up the way I want it with my terminal or a terminal. I got Firefox ESR it comes with, PCman FM. Let's look at the menu. Let's go to, no, don't want to update right now. I will. All right, so let's look at let's start in accessories. Application Finder, which is kind of like a menu, is a menu. Bulk rename, C matrix I installed, GNOME disk I installed. Featherpad I installed. Virtual keyboard, calculator, image viewer, the light DM, menu editor, mouse pad, notes, Parcelite, password and keys, task manager and screenshot, Thunar, Xarchiver, and XFburn all came in by default. That's a clipboard manager, by the way, Parcelite. Under games, I installed these and they both work with the sound. Audio. Under graphics, I've installed GNU image manipulation program and Krita. Came with the document scanner, image viewer, and LibreOffice Draw, I believe. Under internet, I added Chromium. It comes with Firefox ESR, HexChat comes in, KDE Connect, a bunch of KDE stuff, news feeds, open connected devices, KDE Connect, Pigeon Internet, Messenger, Qubit Torrent I added, Rise Up VPN, Thunderbird, Transmission, and NuGet all came in by default, which probably a lot of those are going to get uninstalled by default. Mouse pad, GNOME disk, application finder. Let's go back here. That was under multimedia. I've added Audacity, Celluloid, Cheese comes in, Excel comes in, UVC View I've installed, Kdenlive, OBS Studio, Pulse Audio radio station, Simple Screen Recorder I installed, Sparky Tube to come in by default. I believe VLC came in by default, and as well as Voco Screen NG. And I've just recently took notice of this. I seen it a couple years ago on one of Dan's videos. I don't know. I guess I either forgot it or didn't think about it because I use OBS Studio. But I'm going to look at it some more. It looks like it might be pretty nice. Here we have the full suite of the LibreOffice stuff. We have the document viewer. Under settings, this will be all the settings you have in your panel. Under system, got about Sparky Linux, 6.1, Tolo, system, got APTus App Center, which works, but there's a couple drawbacks. Close that out. Refreshing my package list. If I pick an object or pick a software to install it because that updater was there, it's going to do that first. In my experience here, every time you can only install one software at a time, and it seems like it builds it from source. It seems to take so long, but it does work. I was trying to install a bunch of stuff using it, and it, like I said, it does work, but it only allows you to install one package at a time. All right, so we got the GW Package Manager installer, which is nice to have by default. I believe I installed HTOP, like the M Greeter, your live USB. It comes with a live USB formatter and creator. Print settings, Synaptic Package Manager is secondary package manager, system info. I believe that's based on hard info, what I'm looking at right there. Might be wrong, but it sure looks like it. System monitor, I installed that. Open that up. And here it says we're only using 713 megs of RAM. Very low on the CPU usage. And I've been looking through all kind of stuff and opened up some packages. A system upgrade tool to upgrade. System upgrade scheduler. You can actually schedule it to do it in a nicer time. It comes with time shift. Here's that USB formatter. Here's that welcome that I really haven't found to this day. Actually, it didn't come up a while ago, did it? So I must have found a way. So this is the Xfce Desktop. So I'm going to make this quick so we can look at the LXQT. And I haven't done any customizing in the LXQT or Plasma. So what you'll see is what you'll get. There'll be no customizing at all. Oh, and I did install the guest editions on that Xfce, and I forgot to show it again, but there's this folder right here is on that desktop. So you got the shared folder working with the guest edition. It didn't work until I inserted the guest edition. All right, let me enter a little password here. That ain't gonna work. So let's see, system tools, APTus, system info, preferences maybe, screensaver, LXQT settings, monitor settings. Change that. Actually, you don't have to change it, I don't think. I think I can just drag it out. Yep. I got the guest editions installed here as well. And no, I don't want to do the upgrade at this point. The LXQT config monitor, default monitor setting has been applied. We can close this out because I do have the guest editions. And like I said, I hadn't done any work or customization to this at all that I remember. Under accessories, it must come in with feather pad, which I think is QT. No, it's just straight feather pad. Cut. Under accessories, we got feather pad, LXQT file archiver, PC man. There's where I got the QT at right there. A clipper, the clipboard tool, XF burn for disk burning. We got Q calculator. That's obvious what that is. Under images, we got LX image, image viewer for photographs and the such. LibreOffice Draw, so we got screenshot and scan light for your print or scanner. LibreOffice Draw would indicate that we have the full suite of LibreOffice installed. We got Firefox ESR, Conversation, Copeti, Instant Messenger, Download Manager, Atom Feed Reader, VPN, Qbit Torrent, and Thunderbird. Qbit Torrent. I don't know if I installed that or not. QPDF View for looking at PDFs. Programming, we got the Icon Browser. Under Sound and Video, it comes with Clementine, Pulse Audio, Radio Station, Sparky Tube, VLC Media Player, Webcamoid, which is another option, but not well known one. Here's that Voco screen again for screencasting. System Tools, APTus App Center, About Sparky Linux. Let's see what that shows us. Live USB Creator, QT Terminal, System Info, System Upgrade. So they make it easy to do a system upgrade. That's pretty nice. Network Manager Tray, the Applet, QT Process Manager, USB formatter with time shift, universal access. We got the virtual keyboard. Let's see, didn't we just look at these? There's a Synaptic Package Manager, LXQT, appearance, brightness, desktop. All right. About. Same thing I just opened. That's a little different. Shows the same. All right, so here you have an option to donate. Nice. I did look for some merchandise for Sparky Linux. Best I could come up with was just straight Debian. So we're going to go ahead and just leave this. This is the LXQT Desktop, Sparky Linux. Let's start up Plasma. Same options. Drag this over here. I'm pretty sure I got the VBox editions installed in here as well. Plasma just always surprises me. How low the system resources is, how much is installed, but how long it takes to boot up. All right, my password. Uh-oh. Might have to do something about the resolution. Nope. Mouse come right out of there. Let's see, I think I can just drag this over a little bit. Yeah. We're connected. This is going to be the Plasma Desktop. Here's our start menu. We'll click on that. Under development, we got the icon browser, graphics, GwenView, LibreOffice Draw, Ocular, and Scanlight, Internet, Firefox ESR, KDE Applications Connect and Connect SMS, KGet Conversation, Copete, KTorrent for your torrent needs, open, connected. I said no. They all wanting to do updates. That was under graphics. Got Scanlight under internet. Here's where I was at. Conversation, KTorrent, Rise Up, Thunderbird, Elisa, a video, audio or video media player, K3B for disk burning, Komoso, Sparky2, VLC, and there's Voco Screen again. Under Office, we have the full suite, LibreOffice Math. Here's your settings, system settings. Here's that Elise. System settings. And by the way, guest editions, here's that folder. It renamed it to this location, but there it is right there. If I open that up. Oh, not sure what that was about. Open with Dolphin. I'm not sure what that's about. So this is the system settings. Got global themes. This is where you would change your display, your mouse, all kind of stuff. Power management. This is the typical Plasma settings. Global theme system settings. Close that out. All right, that was under under settings. Under system, you got about a DSL configuration thing there. APTus App Center, Dolphin, File Manager, GNOME System Monitor. I think I installed that. HTOP, Info Center, Console, KSysGuard. I know I installed that GNOME because there's KSysGuard, which I don't particularly like as well. Live USB formatter and creator, print settings, Synaptic Package Manager, system info, and that stuff. Under utilities, got art, emoji selector, KCalc, KFind, KMouse tool, KNotes, KWrite, and Spectacle. So that's going to pretty much do it there. By the way, this is the I think Control Shift, rename, shared. There we go. Malformed URL. Oh, here's what I want. There we go. There's my shared folder. I'm not sure what the dealio is on that. Single click crap. I hate it. Remove the icon. Thank you. So that was my shared folder. You seen all I did was just drag it over, and I must have did that wrong when I had those options just now previously. So there it is. And sound does work out of the box. You just heard it, as a matter of fact. I'm not sure what that link is anyway. I'll have to look at that. This is Sparky Linux, the KDE Plasma. Both center. It wants to do those updates bad. Sparky Linux 6.1. KDE Plasma version 5.20.5. KDE frameworks, QT version, etc. Alright. That's going to do it for this video. I'm going to leave out a KDE Plasma here until it's shut down. That's a pretty good graphic they got going on. I saw that the first time. I was like, that's pretty nice. This is, once again, this is Sparky Linux. Here's their web page. I'll make sure all of these links get in the description below. And that's it. We can close this out. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you install Sparky Linux. If I had to recommend which installer to use, Calamaris is a lot easier. The advanced installer is a little more tedious. I think there's not really any difference in the end result, or at least I didn't see any. I'm not saying there's not some differences. I'm saying I didn't see any that were obvious. So, Sparky Linux based on Debian, new release. Hook it up. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you on another video. Peace out. Bye.